This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Stay tuned until the end to hear about how you can make a great website. Here is the official Mike's Mike guide to organizing a heist. Assemble the right team, scope the perfect location, be prepared, stay focused, look amazing, always have an exit plan. These things are coincidentally all the things you need to have the ultimate girls' night out. Assemble the right team, scope the perfect location, be prepared, stay focused, look amazing, always have an exit plan. When I came up with that, I realized I've done it again. I've just won another Nobel Peace Prize. In a sense, Ocean's 11 is a representation of the ultimate girls' night out, and you might be thinking, oh, you obviously mean Ocean's 8. And to that I say, no, I don't mean Ocean's 8. Ocean's 11 is more ultimate girls' night out coded than Ocean's 8, even though the entire team is men. Don't get me wrong, I love Ocean's 8 as evidenced by the fact I've already made a video about it. I've mentioned a few times in other videos and on my podcast that Ocean's 11 is one of my all-time favorite movies.
We're just supposed to walk out of there with $150 million in cash on us without getting stopped?
Yeah.
I think it's an almost perfect movie, but not in the sense that the movie itself is almost perfect, but more so that it's almost the perfect form that a movie can take. Like if an alien arrived at my front door and said, hey, show me a movie, I would show them Ocean's 11, even though there are definitely other better movies around. It's a very movie and showcases some of my favorite things about the medium. Plot and pacing, characters, location, soundtrack, shot choices. It's also very stylish, and not just in terms of how the characters are dressed, the movie itself has style. Something that some of you could definitely learn. When did having style go out of style? You know what I mean? Also, before you jump down my throat, the next video on my YouTube channel will be Gossip Girl Season 4. Capiche? So stay tuned and at the ready for such uploading occurrences. Side note, while writing this video, I had a thought of, why do I keep talking about 2000s movies? Like, what's going on there? Why have I decided that that is the zone? I'm in the zone. Britney Spears 2003, yes I am. Is it because I have a childhood attachment to these movies? I don't really think so, because I was 5 when Ocean's 11 came out. I think my mum was like, yes, come on 5-year-old, let's go watch Ocean's 11. To me, it seems like this was the ideal time to have been making movies. Also to go see movies. It was such an event to go see a movie, which it still is now, but definitely not to the same degree. When something gets released now, it immediately faces an onslaught of opinions, which is obviously not new, but I would say the immediacy of it is, compared to say when Ocean's 11 came out. Now a movie gets released and the most annoying person you can think of has already tweeted about it, probably ripping it to shreds. Something has to either be really good or really bad to get traction. And even if the general consensus is that something is great, there's going to be people deliberately going against that just to be contrarian or to deliberately drum up rage bait engagement. Bruh, that is exhausting. And again, it's not like that didn't happen before, but it just happens so much quicker now. Like, oh my God, I'm in such a the internet is garbage headspace. Everything's kind of pissing me off. And I think that is part of the reason why I like talking about 2000s movies, because it reminds me of a time before everything got annoying. But I'm also hyper aware of the fact that what I'm doing now would not have been possible at that time. I'm literally on youtube.com talking about Ocean's 11 in 4K. What the hell? Sometimes I wonder what I would have been doing if I was in my 20s in the early 2000s. Anyway, let's talk about theft. As Taylor Swift once said, hey kids, stealing is fun. Apparently, I wouldn't know anything about that. I do know a lot about casinos though. They're such interesting spaces to me. Everyone wants to win, but that means people have to lose. And the chances are you will lose, which is what the casino's banking on. I'm not at all promoting gambling. In fact, I'm doing the opposite. I'm saying take your money and go home. Invest in yourself, maybe buy some bananas. Minions had the right idea. Casinos are bad news. Say it with me, the odds are never in your favor. It's literally the anti-Katniss establishment. The more human involvement, the better your odds are, but that's because the casino's pitting you against other people, not just the house. Inversely, that's also why there's machines everywhere in the casino. Absolute shithouse odds of the player winning. Don't play them, guys. You guys, don't play them. It's just a random number generator that's designed to piss you off. If you enjoy the random number generator aspect of the slot machines, buy a graphics calculator. Hit the random number generator. Boom. I used to write down the names of everyone in my maths class, give them a number, put them into the random number generator, and then generate 2 numbers to work out who killed who in hypothetical Hunger Games. Do that. Now back to the heist aspect. I love heists. Let's go teamwork. There's just something about people coming together to steal some shit. Something goes wrong, fantastic. A misdirect here and there, even better. This right here is a sharp, stylish heist movie about a group of people stealing from a casino, nay 3 casinos. So let's have a look at Ocean's 11 through the lens of the ultimate girls' night out. Stage 1 of the Mike's Mike Guide to pulling off a heist, assembling the right team. First off, we have Danny Ocean. He's just been released from prison on parole, and within 24 hours, he's already got a heist in motion. George Clooney is so suave, and yeah, it did kind of piss me off. I don't understand how George Clooney is an Italian. That is an Italian man. He is so Italian presenting, I don't understand what's going on there. George Clooney is appropriating Italian likeness and exploiting Italianicity for gain. I could not believe it. Next up, Rusty. Rusty and Danny go way back. He's an excellent con man / heist co-coordinator. He's always eating. And not just in the style department. Hey! There's actually a reason for that. It was an acting choice. Brad Pitt said, because he was always on the run, always on the move, I figured he could never sit down and have a proper meal. While Danny was in prison, Rusty's been teaching celebrities how to play poker. And not some made-up celebrities, real ones, like Topher Grace and Holly Marie Combs, who are playing themselves in Ocean's 11. Danny turns up at one such shoot to surprise Rusty and makes a comment to Topher asking if it's difficult to jump from TV to film acting, which is ha ha he he, because that's exactly what George Clooney did. I think it was such a great choice to include actual real celebrities here because it sort of grounds the movie. Holly Marie Combs is real, so maybe Danny Ocean is real. Now Rusty is hating life doing this gig.
All Reds.
Middle-aged men yearn for crime. When Danny tells him the plan, which I will tell you in stage 2 of the Mike's Mike Guide to a Heist, Rusty says you'd need at least a dozen guys doing a combination of cons. A Boski, a Jim Brown, a Miss Daisy, 2 Jethros, and a Leon Spinks. Not to mention the biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever. Okay, everyone, notebooks out, let's get technical. The movie's assuming that you don't know what those things mean, because if you did, you would kind of just have found out exactly how they're going to pull off this heist. A Boski is sort of like a cashed up high roller. A Jim Brown is basically a staged fight. A Miss Daisy is the getaway car. 2 Jethros are sort of like multi-use henchman type members. A Leon Spinks will be the boxing match diversion, which you'll find out about soon. And the biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever is so fun and so clever because it's literally referencing a 1973 commercial for Memorex cassette tapes where singer Ella Fitzgerald breaks a glass with her voice and then her singing is played back on a Memorex tape and breaks another glass. Thus the tagline, is it Ella or is it Memorex? Is this happening or is this a playback of something that already happened? I'll mention these again at the end when I explain how they did the heist and you're going to be gagged. So Danny and Rusty need to make a team to match all of these checkpoints. First of all, who's going to finance the job? Someone who's got a lot of loose change and a reason to hate the big bad of the movie, Terry Benedict, who I'll introduce in stage 2. Enter Ruben. Terry Benedict bought his casino and is going to destroy it to make another one.
Now he's gonna blow it up next month to make way for some gaudy monstrosity.
This right here is one of my favorite quotes from the movie.
Look, we all go way back, and I owe you from the thing with the guy in the place, and I'll never forget it.
We don't need those details. We just need to know that they worked together previously. Following on from this scene, we get a montage of the other members, and again, it is just so well done that it borderline pisses me off. It's an onslaught of new characters and information, but it's still so cool and stylish. Piss off! Frank Catton, a con artist moonlighting as a blackjack dealer. He's half of our Jim Brown. The Malloy brothers, Virgil and Tuck. These are our Jethros. Now, why is Casey Affleck in Ocean's 11 kinda me a little bit? Just a tiny little bit me. He's obviously better looking, but there's a slight sisterly resemblance. What's that about? I've had approximately 10 million billion people telling me that I look like Sean Levy in the last couple of weeks. So maybe we can mix that up and add in another slightly different white man with brown hair. Next up is Livingston Dell, electronics expert. Then explosive expert Basher, played by Don Cheadle. And he's giving us one of the worst British accents in film history. His first line is literally, "All right, chaps."
All right, chaps, hang on to your knickers.
You can't be serious. If you Google Ocean's 11 cast, Don Cheadle doesn't show up, and that's because he's uncredited, even though his role's quite big. He was asked about it during Hotel for Dogs press. Yes, Hotel for Dogs press. There was some stuff happening behind the scenes that I didn't like how it went down, so I just said, take my name off it. Thank you, Hotel for Dogs, for that insight. Next, acrobat extraordinaire Yen. Saul Bloom, retired pro, brought back by Danny and Rusty to pretend to be arms dealer Lyman Zerga, our Boski. So that's 10 members. Well, it's not Ocean's 10, is it?
10 ought to do it, don't you think? You think we need one more? You think we need one more? All right, we'll get one more.
Side note, I really like that little scene there. We had that slowish scene introducing Ruben, then these rapid introductions of everyone else, and then this almost dead air. between Danny and Rusty. Those sorts of meaningless conversations could happen a lot faster or could just be entirely cut out, but they lean into the movie being just as much about the characters and their relationships as the heist.
God, I'm bored. You look bored. I am bored. So how was the clink? Did you get the cookies I sent?
Ultimately doesn't advance the plot forward, but tells us about their relationship. So we need one more member. Enter Linus Caldwell, played by Matt Damon. Late 90s / early 2000s Matt Damon. Late 90s / early 2000s Matt Damon. Ray? Matt Damon in The Talented Mr. Ripley. His character Linus Caldwell is sort of framed as Danny's trainee. He's integral to the heist, but is also quite juvenile and messes up a couple of times, but he's very good at what he does. And what does he do? Steal. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, yes, swiping. But he can also impersonate other people, tail targets. He's just a generally sneaky individual. And while I'm at it, yeah, Linus is an excellent name for a cat, a generally sneaky cat. This is of course all identical to assembling the right team for the ultimate night out. You need the yapper, the organizer, the messy one, the funny one, the problematic one, the dancer, the fashionable one, the one taking all the pics on the digital camera. Now, of course, guys, please don't be stressed. Of course, one person can take on multiple roles. I'm not expecting you to have 10 people you're going out with. Lord knows I don't. Your Rusty could also be your Frank Catton. Your Malloy twins might be one person. Everybody has a role. And for the night to go as planned, everyone needs to play their role. Stage 2 of the Mike's Mike Guide to Pulling Off a Heist, the perfect location. So Danny Ocean's picked these 3 casinos that have one main vault. 3 casinos owned by Terry Benedict. He has a reason for this, which we'll find out soon, but Terry Benedict is ruthless. He's all business. He muscled out Ruben, is going to blow up Ruben's casino to make a new one, runs his own casinos like the military, and he's not to be messed with. Danny and Rusty look at the vault blueprints and they're like, this is extremely advanced. How are we going to rob this? Now, as we know, everything in the MMCU is connected. During my recent rewatch of Ocean's 11, I was drawing Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, and when this blueprint scene happened, I was like, wait, me drawing plus technical drawings equals me doing technical drawings. And I was reminded of my 2017 master's degree in mechanical engineering journal, which I spent hours and hours and hours drawing different mechanical engineering systems and explaining how they worked. And my lecturer lost it. And all I have are these pictures. Diabolical. When I broke this story on the breaking news platform known as my Instagram story, people were shocked that I could draw. Don't act shocked. I also got a lot of compliments and I really enjoyed that, especially in light of such devastation. So feel free to continue such complimentary activities in this here comment section. I'm literally not being dramatic when I say that this journal is my personal burnt Library of Alexandria. Now, the location of a party, or dare I say soiree, or even controversially a club outing is very, 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 very crucial. You're not going to Circuit if the vibe is miscellanea. Blair Waldorf's not going to the same party that Jenny Humphrey's going to, especially if it's in Brooklyn. Is everyone in your group going to like the place you're going to? If not, is that manageable? How's the talent at said venue? What drinks do they serve? What time of year is it? Is it cold enough that you have to wear a coat on your way in? Is there a coat check at the venue? Is entry free? Are you going to a restaurant before? Is the restaurant close to the club? Is it walkable? Does the walking length impact the shoe choice? Okay, so you've decided on the perfect location. Now what? Stage 3 of the Mike's Mike Guide to Pulling Off a Heist. Be prepared. Okay, burglar. Sneaky. You better not be sneaky and snatched when I get there. Don't piss me off. In general, but also with a poorly planned plan. Some of these heists in movies are half a plan. Now, the plan in Ocean's 11 is really, really, really difficult.
What I'm about to propose to you is both highly lucrative and highly dangerous.
Exacerbated by technology that makes it even harder.
This place houses a security system that rivals most nuclear missile silos.
Sometimes characters will find a way to copy a fingerprint or create a perfect duplicate contact lens a la Charlie's Angels breaking into Red Star. In Ocean's 11, they're going to sidestep that problem by realism. There's an elevator that takes personnel from the casino backrooms to the vault floor, and this elevator is guarded by
authorized fingerprint identification,
Which we can't fake.
and vocal confirmation,
Which we won't get.
they're going to get someone to unknowingly participate and take some cargo down for them. This elevator is very central to the whole heist plan. So Danny tells us that the heist is going to take place on the same night as a big boxing match, which is happening in 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, say we do all that. We're just supposed to walk out of there with $150 million in cash on us without getting stopped?
Yeah.
Oh.
Much to do before then. First step, reconnaissance. Oi, reconnaissance. There's just something about a glove. They need to be across everything that happens at the casino, when it happens and how it happens.
You went through at 10:44.
10:46. Get a watch that works.
Second task, power. On fight night, Basher is going to cut the power to the grid, giving them 2 minutes to traverse that particular elevator shaft, which is usually fraught with dangers such as lasers. Third task, surveillance. This is usually where these types of movies fall apart, even more so in anything past 2000. Basically, the tech just gets too advanced to get around in a realistic way. How they're going to do it here is get Livingston Dell into the casino back rooms and then piggyback on the Bellagio's camera network so they can A, see what's happening,
And we're up and running.
B, do a little tinkering. Tinker, tailor, soldier, spy. Skinny, slay, swole, shy. All words to describe me. Okay, can we please talk about this server room for a second? I need to give you some Mike's Mike lore. Guys, I think about servers and server rooms and server storage at least once a day, every single day. Why is no one talking about server space? I mean, yes, we are always evolving and fitting more information on the same physical size of the driver or whatever. So running out of space probably won't be a problem for a long time, if at all. But why is no one talking about servers? Literally, just the sheer amount of information that is being stored around the world right now is bonkers. It's just like, wow, life is crazy. Fourth task, construction.
We need to build an exact working replica of the Bellagio vault.
For practice.
Something like that.
More on that later. Fifth task, intelligence. Linus needs to tail Terry Benedict and learn everything about him. How he conducts his business and who he talks to.
Benedict likes to know what's going on in his casinos, likes to be in control.
Sixth task, transport, for a getaway, obviously, because at the end of the day, even if you successfully rob a casino or 3 in Las Vegas,
You're still in the middle of the fucking desert.
You're right. He's right.
Ruben, you're right.
stage 3 is so self-explanatory in the Ultimate Girls Night Out analogy. Like, just be prepared. Why do I need to explain everything? Stage 4 of the Mike's Mike Guide to Pulling Off a Heist. Stay focused. Things are going to go wrong, and thank God for that. Life is all about mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, are you even trying? Copyright Mike's Mike, August 2024. One of my favorite things about Ocean's 11 is how things go wrong and how the team responds to them. Compare that to Ocean's 8, which never really feels like the plan isn't going to work, partially because we don't know the full plan, and it's sort of like an aha moment to the audience, like this is what actually happened. So Ocean's 11 has a few different forms of things going wrong. Let's start with one of the big ones, Tess. Tess is Danny's ex-wife who left him because she found out he was a liar and a thief.
I only lied about being a thief. I don't do that anymore.
Steal.
Lie.
Now she's with Terry Benedict, which is why Danny wants to knock over his casinos. Danny doesn't tell his team this, including Rusty. When Rusty discovers Tess is involved, he gets Linus to tail Danny and finds out about Danny's reason for picking these specific casinos. When the team finds out, Danny is kicked out of the house, the heist. Not the house, a home. Yeah, the number 1 seed of the heist just got knocked out in the qualifiers. Now, because Linus tailed Danny and found out about this added complication with Tess, we get this amazing shot. It's excellent. There's actually a fantastic follow-on shot of Basher watching the explosion behind him on the TV in front of him. Movies, film, cinema. So the heist leader is kicked out of the heist, at least that's what the initial impression is. Such kickings out actually end up being part of the heist plan. With Danny now on Benedict's radar because he spoke to Tess, Danny is red flagged as soon as he enters the Bellagio and taken by Benedict's thugs to the casino back rooms to be beat up. Then there's a bunch of smaller things going wrong, such as Saul getting recognized in his Zerga disguise.
Saul, it's me, Bucky Buchanan. Remember from Saratoga?
Livingston not being able to find his way back from the server room in the casino back rooms because he sweated his palm map off. Basher realizing that the initial plan to cut the power isn't going to work. So now they need a pinch, which will only cut the power for 30 seconds compared to the original plan of 120 seconds. While sourcing a device for said pinch, Linus makes a mistake and bada bing bada boom, Yen's hand is shut in a van door during a getaway. Because Yen's hand is bandaged, he later on nearly gets blown up because his bandage is stuck in the vault door. It's all about domino effects and bouncing back. Trials and, dare I say, tribulations are abound in life. Take, for example, the Danny Tess debacle. Mayhaps the night out organizer has picked this venue because they know their ex is going to be there. Or the spicy margarita that the funny one's drinking starts to taste like a rogue Instagram DM. Stay focused. Suddenly you're looking for your friend at the club and her phone is dead. You discover an Uber is going to cost an obscene amount of money, so you all end up catching the train, and on the way there, you see this ridiculous amount of traffic, which meant you wouldn't have arrived on time if you took the Uber. Adapt and survive. Guys, I love gloves. Adapt, survive. Say it with me. Adapt, survive. Stage 5 of the Mike's Mike Guide to Pulling Off a Heist. look amazing. One of my favorite things about this movie is that everyone looks so cool the entire time. The character styling here is impeccable. We've got our 11 heist team members plus Tess and Terry Benedict, and everyone has their own unique style. Take for example Danny, Rusty and Terry. They all wear suits throughout the movie, but their styles are very different. Terry is very sharp, almost neurotically so. Danny is a bit more laid back and casual. Rusty takes more risks. Hello, these glasses, fantastic. And talking about style, adjacently to this, they don't use a gun throughout the whole heist. No, no, no. Because that would be uncouth. That would not be stylish. They do, however, use disguises. Here's Rusty disguised as a doctor so he can get into the Bellagio surveillance center to try and resuscitate Lyman Zerga, who has collapsed at the exact moment Livingston switches over the footage to a loop so Benedict doesn't notice that they're in the middle of breaking into his vault. Here's Linus pretending to be someone from the Nevada Gaming Commission, discovering that Frank Catton is a criminal and needs to be fired from the Bellagio immediately, which is how we get our Jim Brown.
No, I didn't mean. Okay, come on, sit down.
So an outfit choice is so important. I can't understate that. I can't. If you're not looking amazing, why are you going out? Unless that's the look you're going for. When I was in the evil historical period known as July 2024, I was leaning into looking like shit. Let the outside reflect the inside. But that is very time and place. On the ultimate girls' night out, you're wearing something that you know you look good in, or something that you don't usually wear. At the moment, I'm wearing a bit of diesel, a beanie, and a glove. Someone had to. Stage 6 of the Mike's Mike Guide to Pulling Off a Heist. Always have an exit plan. This lighting is ridiculous, and I can recognize that. But that being said, so let's talk about how they pull this off. It's really well thought out. I'd be somewhat scared of the person who came up with this. So they scoped the casinos, got their info on Benedict's patterns from Linus, and organized the pinch. The pinch is basically how they're going to shut off the power, and it's a bit of a plot convenience mumbo jumbo, but it's kind of just a device that sets off an electromagnetic pulse. It's now the night of the boxing match, so also the night of the heist. Now what? Yen is put in a Bellagio cash cart with 30 minutes of oxygen and wheeled through the casino by the Malloy twins. They cause a ruckus about losing their card to the back rooms, so another worker takes the cart through. Since it's a high roller cart, it needs to go in the vault via the elevator and the fingerprint sensor and the voice confirmation, which is obviously cleared because the cart's being taken by someone who actually works at the casino. Benedict sees Danny and has him taken to the back rooms to be beaten up, but Danny's actually paid off this guy and escapes into the air vent. Linus and Frank have their Jim Brown fake fight and Linus swipes Benedict's card. While this is happening, arms dealer Lyman Zerga has told Terry Benedict that he has a special briefcase arriving that night and needed it to be stored somewhere super secure, like the vault. So he's in the security room watching his briefcase being taken to the vault. Boski, Zerga collapses. Livingston switches the camera feed to a loop to hide the fact Linus is now in the elevator. Disguised Rusty turns up to try and help Zerga with the Malloy twins, our Jethros, and extracts Saul. Basher sets off the pinch. The power goes off for 30 seconds all across Vegas, at the boxing match and at the casinos. Leon spinks. Danny and Linus meet up and rappel down the elevator shaft to the vault. Now remember, Yen was in a cash cart that was put in the vault. He gets out, avoids the floor sensors, and uses the explosive gems in Lyman Zerga's briefcase to blow the vault door and let Danny and Linus in to start collecting the cash. Cool, amazing, heist done. That's only half of it. Rusty calls Benedict and tells him, "We're robbing your casino. Check the tapes." Livingston switches the camera feed of a normal vault to a feed of it being robbed. There's $160 million in that vault. How are they going to get it out? Rusty tells Benedict, "We're going to put 80 million in bags in the elevator and you're going to take it out of the casino for us. We're going to booby trap the other 80 mil in the vault to make sure you comply."
You can lose $80 million tonight secretly, or you can lose $160 million publicly.
Benedict says that he'll comply, but gets his manager to call the SWAT team. His men then take the cash bags and put them in a van waiting outside. The SWAT team that Benedict sneakily called arrives. Benedict cuts the power so they can ambush the vault. There's an explosion. Danny, Linus, and Yen are nowhere to be seen and have blown up the insurance 80 million. The SWAT team leaves, and the leader says, "I don't know how the fuck they got in here or got out." The van blows up with the 80 million inside, except it's not 80 million, it's just bags full of random flyers. Just like the explosion in the vault is just flyers, not money. The video Terry Benedict was watching of people robbing his vault was actually a recording of Danny, Linus, and Yen robbing a fake duplicate vault they constructed in a warehouse.
Somebody made a duplicate of my vault.
And what we saw on the monitor wasn't actually happening.
The biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever. They did this so that Benedict would actually see this happening, go along with the 80 million split, and then call the SWAT team to get the 80 million in the vault. They knew that Benedict would go against their orders and call a SWAT team. Livingston intercepted the 911 call. They are the SWAT team. Benedict let them right into the vault to stop the heist, when in actual fact, they ended up walking out of the casino with Danny, Linus, and Yen in SWAT suits and $160 million in bags. Just like that. Not Danny though. He goes back to his clobbering room to make it look like he never left and wasn't responsible. He ends up leaving in the safety of a police car after Benedict gets him picked up for breaking parole. A little 3-month stint in the slammer, and then he's out of there with a cool $14 million. Genius. During the last hour or so of the movie where this is all happening, there are almost no repeated shots, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. The typical way of conveying quick, chaotic events is quicker cuts, and what they've done here is a different way of conveying that energy. It sort of feels like we as the audience can't relax because we're consistently seeing something new. Even if it's just a person talking, every time it goes back to them, it's a slightly different shot. So how does this all link to the ultimate girls' night out? Stage 5, girls the getaway. Exit strategy. When is the right time to leave? Did the DJ just start playing club classics? Is it worth staying knowing that it's statistically likely the next song is going to be diabolical considering the DJ's track record of the night? No, 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 no. You don't want your last song to be something tragic. How are you going to drop this guy that's been clinging on to you for the last 30 minutes? You need to call in your SWAT team. Your girls. Yeah, it needs to be a well thought out exit. Maybe you want to steal that shot glass. I don't condone that behavior, but maybe you want to steal it. Maybe you're on your way out and you need to get past the girl from work who you told you was sick today and didn't come to work to prep for the night out. Where's that friend whose bloody phone has no battery? How are you going to get home? So thus, therefore, I conclude my research into the similarities of a heist and the ultimate girls' night out. Turns out, just as a great night out is possible, so is stealing $160 million. If only building a website was just as simple. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace gives people a powerful and stylish online platform from which you can build your own website. Squarespace has a huge library of professional website templates with unique customizable designs for every category and use case, so you can make changes to the look of the site, update content, and add features to make your site stand out. Let's look at some of those use cases. Online stores. You can use Squarespace to sell your products, whether they're physical, digital, or service products. You could also implement customer experience features such as real-time shipping rates, presenting your work. You can use Squarespace's customizable galleries in their professional portfolio designs to display projects. And the good thing is, these will look great on a desktop and on a phone. When I was a software developer, that was really important. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Mikes, Mike, M-I-K-E-S-M-I-C, to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Bye guys. See you in the next one. Remember, adapt and survive. Adapt and survive.